search. On August 18th, we received a cable indicating that a boy matching his description was found in DeKalb, Illinois. Upon questioning, he admitted to being Walter Collins. We then made arrangements for him to be transported back to California.
Where Mrs. Collins told you the boy was not her son.
Yes, she denied his identity in spite of all the evidence pointing to the contrary.
But as subsequent events have demonstrated, she was correct. So, what prompted you to send her for psychological evaluation?
Whether or not this was in fact the correct boy was not relevant to my decision. Throughout this period, she acted strangely. She was often cool and aloof and unemotional, especially when confronted with the boy we found in DeKalb and in our subsequent conversation. It was because of her disturbing behavior that I submitted her for observation to the Psychopath Board of Los Angeles County General Hospital.
Just like that. You snap your fingers and an innocent woman is thrown into the psycho ward.
She wasn't.
Every family in this state is in grave danger. When a police captain can take a woman into his office, 5 minutes later, have her thrown into the psychopathic ward on his own authority.
One of the most challenging communication circumstances are found in a mental health ward. You see, the challenge emerges from the fact that as a patient, any communication or communicative actions can be interpreted as being in alignment with some other mental health illness. And this creates an enormous challenge of how a patient is able to communicate their capacity for autonomy and even for sanity, as noted in the clip by Christine Collins' friend.
Too much, you're delusional, you're stifling hysteria. If you don't smile, you're depressed. If you remain neutral, you're emotionally withdrawn, potentially catatonic. You're giving this a lot of thought? Yeah. Don't you get it? You're code 12, so am I. We're here for the exact same reasons. We both pissed off the cops.
Also, it's a challenging circumstance as well because power is innate in the nurse and the physician, as they are automatically considered to be sane and given a free pass on that line. And so the question becomes, what can you do as a nurse to help you communicate mindfully, or as a physician or a psychiatrist within a mental health ward, so that you are properly balancing the patient's capacity for autonomy with also the need to protect them from themselves and also to protect others from them and from harming themselves, and how to get them back to that place of autonomy. Also, it raises the question, what can you do as a patient to negotiate the differences in perspective about your sanity and about your own capacity for autonomy? Now, in approaching this communication ethics problem from a theory of care perspective, we automatically search for solutions and resolution in this through two basic pillars of this theory, which are responsiveness and tenacity. Now, in terms of responsiveness, as a nurse or psychiatrist, having a clear rubric of how one's capacity for autonomy can be assessed upon entrance into the facility as well as throughout their stay is going to be critical. And pursuing that rubric and constantly evaluating the behavior of the patient is going to be critical. Secondly, for the patient, dialoguing with the nurse, the staff, as well as the psychiatrist about why they are considered to be unable to be autonomous, and also asking, what is the rubric? How is this measured? How is this assessed? And engaging in dialogue and not becoming discouraged or just simply submitting to the circumstance, but being responsive to this, because psychiatrists and nurses obviously do not want to detain someone if they're acting ethically, who is completely capable for autonomy, and they don't want to force feed them medication.
Escorted, thrown, the verb doesn't matter, Captain. What does matter is that her incarceration was ordered without a warrant. I am holding a carbon copy of the affidavit of insanity that was issued in the case of the State of California versus Christine Collins. Who signed the affidavit?
I did.
Now, let me see if I have this correct. A woman was thrown into the psychopathic ward without a warrant because no warrant existed. released several days later. There was no need to sign it or to go to a judge because she was already in the asylum. Is this correct, Captain?
Technically, yes. Extraordinary steps were necessary because we were dealing with an extraordinary situation. Now, is it our fault that we were being deceived by a boy who claimed to be Walter Collins? No. In light of his claims and her disturbing behavior, who wouldn't begin to think that there was something the matter with her?
Because she questioned you.
No, because she wouldn't listen.